is reasonable. Otherwise, the person who grabs the child first removes the child to another jurisdiction, and then you've got to go find them. That's why the states cooperate with each other in directing that the children be returned to their home state. I assume that the lawyer explained that to you, and if the lawyer didn't explain that to you, I'm explaining it to you.
And good afternoon and welcome to Locked in Stitches. As always, my name is Julie Hall. Thank you very much for coming along today. Sorry, I'm just attempting to set up or to work out what's happening here with my computer at the same time. Hi, how's everyone doing today? Hope you're all doing well. It's a lovely day here in Canberra. Sorry for the additional little bibs and bobs that you've seen whilst I've been playing around attempting to set this up correctly. And I'm just hoping I can find our live casting now. So, how has everybody's week been? And that would be why. Okay, good morning and welcome to, good afternoon and welcome to Locked in Stitches. As always, my name is Julie Hall. Sorry, playing with multiple programs at the same time is just leaving me a little bit flummoxed. Let me just make sure that I can see you all. Okay. The good news is I'm live. Suzanne Cook, I can see that you are there. And I can see that is going now. So then I can move this over and all is well in my world. Okay, so hope you're all having a great week. I've got a machine stitching along in the background. I am stitching some, and I'll show you exactly what I'm doing. I'm doing some lovely little lace baubles at the moment. We'll just get rid of that little black line that I've got there. That are going to be for our Christmas decorations class this week. And Naomi White, hello, thank you for joining us. I appreciate you coming in. And I'm just going to do that. Thank you, Suzanne. Yeah, they're really, really cute, aren't they? So what we're going to do today is work on week 6 of our Christmas stitch along. Because today's stitch along is a little bit longer than normal, what I've done is I have actually come through and I have stitched out my word for the week, and then I've stitched out half of my star as well. So I've just been getting a little bit ahead because what we're going to work today is some applique. And if I come through, I'm going to be working on the Reindeer and Sleigh. And what I've done already is just basted that in, because what I found is I cut my fabric just that tiniest bit too short, and I don't want that to affect it. So what it takes is using that perfect basting stitch, which is of course a free download, and then I can come through and do my stitching. And I've joined both pieces together. So initially, remember back sort of 12 years ago when I first did this, remember that your machines didn't have the sizing abilities that they do now. So I made sure that each of these designs could be used on a 5x7 hoop. and we've still done that this time. So what we've got is the you can either do them individually or you can join them together. So the first thing I'm going to stitch out is my reindeer, and we're starting off with doing his little antlers, and then we're going to move on to the sleigh itself. So don't be worried if you've only got a smaller hoop. You can certainly do all of this in that smaller hoop. So how's everybody else's week been? I've had a good week here. We did I did something special yesterday. I went to the shops for the first time in about 12 weeks. The girls needed new bras, and for some reason they did not want to have their father shop with them. Can't understand it. So I went in and we did that. So I got one daughter fixed up. The other one's going to take some more work. I was going to say, Suzanne, yes, you were back in the office. How did that go? I've still got hubby at home, but I'm going to take the opportunity this week, and after our class on Tuesday morning, I'm going to duck up to Sydney for a couple of days and go and see my father. Now, colours, as always, are totally up to you. I've kept it really simple. I'm using red for the sleigh and brown for my reindeer. Now, there's no particular need for me to change the thread colour yet, because the next thing that I'm going to do, and this is the way that I do all of my applique, is it's going to stitch out where that applique fabric will be placed. Suzanne, my dad's out at Londonderry near Windsor. So, and the joy of it is I get to, like my sister is only 20 minutes from him. She's out at Quakers Hill. So ideally, she works over at Penrith. So ideally I will get to see her as well and catch up with my young nieces and nephews. Well, no, not nephews, just my young nieces. My brother's 3 daughters. And my father has them sort of after school and for dinner a couple of nights a week, so I'll be able to catch up with them as well. Okay. Oh, Dean Park. Yeah, that's not far at all. And that's where I grew up. I was I was born and raised for most of my life in Sydney. Although we went out farming when I was 10, 8, something like that, for 4 years. But other than that, I've always lived around that area until I met my darling husband. And when I met him, it was at the end of a contract that I was working on. And he had a full-time job, and I was only doing contracting stuff. So I moved to Melbourne to be with him, and then we stayed in Melbourne for 10 years. And we really only left because he was in manufacturing. He was a engineer with Ford Motor Company. And we saw the way manufacturing was going in Australia and really liked the idea of him having a paycheck. So we moved up here to Canberra. And I cannot believe it, it's been 10 years now. Time just absolutely flies. I got the notices this week of when my daughters graduate year 10. Oh, Carol's here. Hi, Carol. How you going? And you're watching with your granddaughter. Hello, Carol's granddaughter. Thank you for joining us. Michelle Reynolds, how are you? Sorry we interrupted your morning, darling. This daylight saving thing's kicking our asses, isn't it? And it's all good. So long as I turn up, it's, everything else is good. Okay, I'm going to leave that little guy stitching there for 2 seconds while I check on how my next lace design is going. I totally agree, Suzanne. Better late than not getting here at all. And quite honestly, turning up at all is always a good thing. I do like these little guys though. I love their little, the little reindeer bodies. Sandra Johnson, I can see you're here. Thank you for coming in. Can you believe we've done 6 weeks of this now? So there's only 2 more parts and we are done. Now I do half expect Firstborn to call at some point. He's at work at the moment, and if his father forgets him, I'll have to yell out to find Edward so they can go and pick him up. Michelle! I know, Michelle, and we love having you here, darling. Please don't think that. Suzanne's going to miss week 8 as you'll be in Tamworth. Lucky woman. I like Tamworth. It's we do a show out there sort of once a year with Craft Alive, and it's a lot of fun. Barbara Evans, good afternoon. How are you going today, Barbara? I want to show you a really interesting thing. I wasn't sure that this would actually come out in the lace, but so as I showed earlier on, I'm doing some lace for Christmas baubles. I'll show you this week. Have a look at this nasty line down here. Can you believe that line was actually drawn onto the scrap of wash away stabilizer? It actually isn't on the thread at all. It was on the scrap of stabilizer, and then as I've washed it away, the ink has just transferred into the thread. So do be careful with your stitching and with, using marking lines on things, even like wash away. That one really did surprise me. We had a lovely night last night. Edward made us pizza for dinner, and which is always an absolute treat. And then we watched a video, and it's been so long since both Edward and I have watched a video that both of us have enjoyed. Like, we're really not the same genre kind of people. But it was so good. And it was called Nobody, and it had Bob Odenkirk, the guy from Better Call Saul, in it. And he was just magnificent. I said to Edward, the only thing I'm disappointed about with watching this movie is that for the past 3 months I've had it on my, I'd like to watch it, but I really don't want to pay for it. Now I'm upset that I didn't pay for it because it's a movie I wouldn't actually mind supporting. Oh, Michelle Reynolds will be doing week 8 from a retreat. Oh, you show off, darling. Suzanne Cook's at a retreat as well. Absolutely, and a lot of these things, internet is not fantastic. Okay, well, given the fact that so many people are going to be out for week 8, should we do the really big block, which is the Christmas village next week? I like that, Suzanne, absolutely. We can definitely do that. Tonight after dinner, my daughters and I will be online looking at formal dresses. They only announced on Friday that there is that they are going to have some sort of a formal. And I'm not too worried because the girls will be able to rewear their dresses to their cousin's wedding reception. And you know, everyone likes a new dress. Michelle, that sounds great. You know how I like being on a big screen. I just love this little guy's personality as he stitches through. That's a good idea, Michelle, because you've got to get all your stuff ready because you are going to be teaching in a couple of weeks. And let me show everybody what Michelle is going to be teaching in locked-in stitches for me in a couple of weeks. Does anybody else ever amaze themselves with the sheer volume of photos and crap that they end up downloading over time? Okay, let me show you. So this is what Michelle's going to be teaching in a couple of weeks, and it's a desk caddy. It would make a great Christmas present for a crafter. And it's held together with one of those Perspex sign holders from like Officeworks. It's absolutely brilliant. Michelle taught it at her retreat and I just loved it and really, really wanted her to share that with all of you guys. Okay, so first colour down. I've got a bit of a scratchy throat at the moment, and I don't know. I think like one of the drugs that they've got me on is to make sure that I don't catch anything while I've got no immune system, yada yada yada. And I don't know if what that is stopping me from like getting the actual flu. But I've just got that one bit that's just trying so hard to get through. Or what? What I am finding fascinating though is after I moved my sewing room around the other day, all of my threads are now like in arm reach of me, whereas only the larger threads were previously. And now I'm using so much more of all of them. Ah, Suzanne, that is a fantastic question. Barbara Evans, another person who plans on living forever. I like that. And And Suzanne Cook, when am I doing another retreat? I honestly don't know at the moment. It's so hard to plan anything. I do a retreat up in Yeppoon every year that Michelle, who's here, organises. I'm teaching at the Craft Alive shows, and they announced Hawkesbury the other day, but I can't remember when. Let me see if I can find that out. It'll be from the 17th to the 19th of July. And I will be doing classes there this year. Oh, Lady Di's place, yes. That probably would have been November 2 years ago. Because it'll be 2 years in January since Mum and Mal, my brother, passed. And that was just after. I'd done Lady Di's. Okay, so my little reindeer has feet now. Oh, looking so cute. Now we need to give him a red nose, otherwise he won't be able to guide the sleigh. It's very, very selfish, and I really don't mean to take away from the victims, but that whole Rolf Harris thing, one of the things that truly pisses me off is it ruined 6 white boomers for me. Absolutely, Michelle Reynolds. You've got the skills, you're used to doing it. I started my Christmas shopping yesterday. Whilst the girls and I were out in Target, they saw some PJs that they liked, so we got their PJs. And so this is now our reindeer done, and now I'm up to the details on the sleigh. So we're going to start with some of the presents. And it's roast chicken in the whole household tonight. We've got yellow and pink. because your presents can be whatever colour you like. Now, I did have a question the other day. Somebody was asking me whether it's actually necessary for me to waste this stabilizer on either side and at the top and bottom of the hoop. So this is the width of my stabilizer, which is why I'm wasting that. And at the top and bottom I've only got like a centimetre, or you only need to have a centimetre or so at top and bottom. But it does need for the hoop to have the stabiliser all around it if your fabric is not going to be perfectly net. What you've got to do is give it the best chance for stabilisation. If I had turned this around, the width of the stabiliser would have only got to about here on my hoop. So it wouldn't have come straight in, and therefore it wouldn't have been able to hold all of the fabric with the basting stitches. So your options are kind of either or. You've got to give it something to allow the security to work on. And Rita Young, good afternoon. I hope you're doing well. And my next colour will be a pink. And I'll just give you a little preview on what I'm doing here. So this is the second piece of lace that I've made, and I'm just going to let that sit in there and dissolve that stabilizer away in its own good time. If I wanted it to work quicker, I would use warm to hot water. And Sylvia Verada, thank you very much for joining us. Never an issue. We love having you here whatever time you can make it. Oh crap, I put that back over there. Sorry. And more importantly than doing everybody else's Christmas shopping, I think I've worked out what I'm going to get Edward to buy me. So I've got a birthday in December, in early December. And I'm thinking that I've been trying to work out how I could best live stream from the shows that we do, sort of with Craft Alive and with expertise around the country. So, you know, share the joy and how much fun it is, while still, you know, not sending you guys crazy and still being able to serve customers, of course. And I'm thinking that my darling husband might be going to look into one of those GoPro head mount camera sort of things. I remember when I was a kid, one of my favourite things of Christmas was on Christmas evening on Christmas Eve evening on the news. They'd do a little bit at the end, you know, like we can see Santa's Santa's sleigh has been, you know, spotted over Hawaii or wherever, and that was always a highlight to me. That, you know, oh, Santa's coming. Okay. Now this is one that I didn't count in. I forgot that we had Santa's bag of goodies. So when I went looking for fabrics earlier today, I had not counted that in at all. Okay. Now, I did have an idea as well. While I was shopping yesterday, I noticed that all of the Christmas stuff was out already. And one of the things that I noticed was all of the Christmas tree skirts that are already out. And how easy it would be to purchase one of those Christmas tree skirts and then just pop the designs on. So if you are time poor but still looking for a way to embroider up your Christmas, that could be one option. And whether it be these designs or even the Santa train designs would all look fantastic with that. The next colour that we're going to use is a green for our Santa bag, and I know it's too dark, but I still think it will be a nice green to use. Michelle Reynolds has started her train. Fabulous. I'm glad we've enthused you, darling. Yes, the important thing, Suzanne, we've all been there. The other thing that I was enthused by this week was I'm just looking for a good image of it to show you. So I was enthused by these Bluetooth headbands. And it was the sleep one that I was enthused by the most. But I can also see like the sports one, or even using it to walk would be like when going on walks would be a good thing. But what they are is just little Bluetooth bits, and I'm going to try and find a good picture. So it's just like a little battery box there that's the Bluetooth bit, and it sits in your ear, like your iPhone buds or whatever. And I thought I could make a prettier sleep mask than that with that in them. So I'm going to give it a go and see how it works. But I thought that was just a cool idea, and I would like that myself. Like, I have terrible trouble if Edward's reading, trying to work out what, trying to get to sleep or anything like that. Oh, that's coming up nicely. Michelle, you're showing off there. I'm running away to Dad's to get rid of Edward, and because we've cleaned everything out and he's trying to sell, there's no sewing machines there or anything. And now the bulk of the stitching in this design comes in, compared to the other colours, comes in on our beautiful sleigh. I don't have any other rooms, Michelle. That's my problem. I'd have to kick a kid out, which I'm not totally against. And we kick kids out for guests all the time. And once again, if you were looking at an adult, like if you were trying to do a Christmas shirt for an adult, this design would be quite good. So it measures at about 23 centimetres across. Oh, Michelle, you're a good woman letting family move back in. But yes, I can help you with going away more. And it always looks so weird at this stage because perspective-wise, I sit here thinking, what have I done wrong? That's not big enough to go to that. But it's because we haven't got those, that sled bottom part up there yet. So do any of you participate in Halloween? We definitely don't in our house. I kind of feel like it's an American tradition. And I spent a lot of time every year when my kids were younger teaching them about stranger danger. Then teaching them to knock on randoms' houses kind of seems counterproductive, but yeah, that's me personally. I have no issue with other people's choices. By the same token, I kind of like the idea of Thanksgiving and taking at least one day a year to think about being thankful for what we've got. Particularly once I heard the story over how Thanksgiving started, and Abraham Lincoln's Thanksgiving, the letter during the Civil War. And it was really, really, and you can Google the entire thing, but basically it's now, therefore, I, Abraham Lincoln, President of the US, do hereby appoint and set apart the last Thursday in November as a day which I desire to be observed by all my fellow citizens, wherever they may then be, as a day of thanksgiving and praise. And I do further recommend to my fellow citizens that on this occasion they do reverently humble themselves in the dust, and from thence offer up a penitent and fervent prayer and supplications to the great disposer of events for a return of the inestimable blessings of peace, union and harmony throughout the land. I thought that was just kind of cool. Oh, that's a good question, Michelle. So Michelle's using a brown background. So therefore, what colour should her reindeer be? Now, I've used a very dark one just because that was what I had. But if you come through and Google the good old reindeer, you'll see there are lots and lots of different colours. So you could go from a tan, you could even go a really creamy colour. And you could even go a really red brown if you wanted to keep that, but I'd go something lighter so that it stood out. Yeah, Suzanne, I'm with you. I'd go the light tan. Okay, so now we're going to come along and do the sled part. And I will say this has actually taken less time than I thought it would. So after this one, I'm going to go back to my star and then I'll have them all finished. I've got a cherry tree right outside my office here. Now, we rarely get any cherries off it because, of course, the possums get to it way before we get a chance to do anything with it. But I can just see the cherries are coming out, and they're a nice size, but they're very, very green at the moment. But I am thinking that my birthday weekend is generally a cherry picking weekend. Okay, so the last colour for these guys is the harness, which I'm going to do in that same green as I used for the Santa sack. Actually, I wish I'd changed that now. I wish I'd done this strapping gold, like metallic gold. I think that would look beautiful. Okay, so that is our design finished, and I'll come and show you that one in a second, but first of all I just want to come back to our little star person, little star element here, and get it stitching. So I've done the outline and I've done the first colour. So I can move through that to the second colour now, and we are of course going to use our mylar. We only need one layer of it. And I didn't thread that properly, so let's come through and just see what's happening there. That's better. And now that that's happening, Selena, thank you for coming. I hope you're having a good afternoon. So this is my finished block. I'm quite happy with that. And as I run my fingers along the sides here, what I can feel is the absolute reason that we use that perfect basting. And I can feel almost a little lump where the fabric's trying to pull in, but because the basting is so good, it just doesn't get the chance to. And all I'll do is get a clean pastry brush and run that over, and it will be perfect. So that's that design ready to go. Let's have a look. Oh no, I hope you're all okay, Selena. Can anyone believe it's actually November tomorrow? Now don't worry about any little puckering or anything that you see there, because the stitches all bring it out. Oh, Selena, your youngest will be 20. Wow. And Laura, I totally agree. The year has gone really fast. No, my daughters will be 16 on Christmas Day. Okay, so that works out well. I think hubby's going down to pick up some. I like this one because my bestie from high school, her name's Faith. Oh man, your youngest grandson. Don't you hate that? You think you're gonna get that little bit more time out of the bobbin, but no. It has to end. What are we at? 40. So 130 stitches short. Okay, and then can come through and just remove that extra mylar. And trim those couple of jumps. And that's that block done. So, what we've now got should be sorry, I'm looking at everyone counting backwards. Oh, that's cool. 23 on the 23rd. Michelle, when I stitched the plum pudding, the mylar came out from under the red on the edges for about 1/4 inch. Okay, I'll have to have a look at that. And just a second, I'll bring it up and show everybody what I'm looking at with that. Gotta remember what it's called. Okay, so this is okay. I'm betting that what happened there, Michelle, if I look at the way that comes around, I'm betting that the mylar came out to sort of this point here. So that would be about 1/4 inch in, which is one of the issues with mylar, and it would have been the same on this one. It was coming out to about here. So what it is when you're pulling it, no matter how gentle, I'm absolutely sure you were gentle, that's just one of the joys, and I'm just looking at what I could do to change that. So what I could do is just put in a circle around it. That will stop that from happening. Okay. Oh, Suzanne, great minds think alike. Hi, Sandy. How are you going today too? And I'll re-release that that design in the set this week. The other option would be to trim around it. Now I've just got to find where that goes before I forget about it. Okay, so where we should be now is, if we have a look at our runner, we should be finished now this row. Now, even if you can't put it together, because we actually haven't done the pudding as a group, so that's okay. So you should have 2 reindeers and your sleigh and your 3 words. So next week we're going to do the workshop, and I'll do the word probably nativity, and I might even do and then we'll do a holly leaf again, and I might put in a 4th star before I put those changes through, and give you a 4th star option as well. So that is what we have so far, and then week 8 we'll do the pudding and the last star and the word carols. That's okay, Michelle, you're allowed to work it early. It's all good. There are no there are no baddies in this classroom. Okay, so I hope you have enjoyed that. Please feel free to join us next week when we're going to do our Christmas baubles. And I've also, I'm going to show you again how to do these nice big baubles and customize them. So that will be Tuesday morning and Thursday evening. And until next time, have a stitching day, guys. Bye.